Hey guys, it's Kwana back again with another Her Rule review. Blessed day to you all. We are here to recap and review The Handmaid's Tale, Season 4, Episode 2, entitled Nightshade. So before we get started, spoilers for Seasons 1 through 3 of The Handmaid's Tale, and spoilers for Episodes 1 and 2 of Season 4, which have just dropped on Hulu. And before we get started, do me a favor and click that subscribe and click on the bell notification so that you can get all of my weekly recaps of The Handmaid's Tale. Maybe there'll be a few surprises in there for us as well. So we'll see. But this was a pretty solid episode. Definitely see June back to her normal, take charge, figure things out, and make a plan self in this episode. The episode starts where guardians arrive at the Keys farm looking for June and the other handmaids, and Mrs. Keys has to play it calm, play it cool, and she does an amazing job for a 16-year-old in that scene. June decides it is time for them to leave. Things are getting a little too tight, too tense, and they need to get in contact with someone of Mayday so they can figure out where the next safe house is. What's interesting in that scene is we get to see Brianna, who very reluctantly has taken part in all of this. I don't want to say very reluctantly, because she did take part in it and she was eager to help out with everything that happened in season 3, but she certainly does not want to fight. She does not consider herself a soldier. She wants to lay low and play it safe and get to safety as soon as possible. Alma, on the other hand, is like, y'all, let's go to Texas. And I hear that Texas is free and they're taking in people, so we can just go to Texas. Mind you, they are all the way in Pennsylvania. So June is like, that's not a good plan. We don't have any contacts. We don't know how to get down to Texas. And what if we get down there and that is just all a big rumor? So they decide they're going to contact someone with Mayday. And through their network, they find that their contact is going to be in a Jezebel brothel. And so that is where June goes to visit. We check in with Luke for the first time of the season. And we see him hosting a fundraiser. I think it's called an organization called Angel's Flight, but basically it's raising money, raising awareness about June, what she's done, her mission, trying to, of course, get as many people out of Gilead as possible, trying to get governments from around the world to take a stand and fight back against Gilead for all of these atrocities. And guess who he gets to speak? Rita. He invites Rita to come and speak, and she is just precious. She talks about how she didn't think June would have something like that in her when she first met her, but you know, she soon proved that she could do it, and she stayed, and she's continuing to stay to fight the good fight. Reminding all of us that it's not just selfish reasons that June stayed, that June didn't hop. It would have almost been more selfish for her to hop on that flight and come home, because one, Hannah is still in Gilead, and two, so far there's not that many people actually within the inside fighting back. There are pockets of resistance, but June is the first one who has really made like a full concerted, I'm going to come up with a plan. And girl pulled it together very quickly. I'm going to use the tools that God gave me. I'm going to come up with this plan, and we're going to get these babies to safety. We find out, we see Serena Joy. So we get caught up with her, and she's, you know, getting like basically almost like a rape kit, basically in a full-on examination done, where they're, you know, finding out about the abuse that Fred put her through, the fact that, you know, her just punishment for reading was getting her pinky cut off, the fact that he beat her. Remember that episode in season 1 where he beat her with his belt? Mommy, what are the coloring books? Sorry for the interruption. Okay, so where were we? So Serena Joy is getting a full-on exam, and basically her attorneys are like, look, you need to be very specific about the fact that you were abused in Gilead, and that's why you did what you did. That's the only way that we're going to get anyone to have any sympathy towards you, where we can kind of hope to restore your immunity deal, get you possibly some visitation rights with Nicole or something. How the heck they're demanding that Nicole gets visitation rights is beyond me. Like, she literally had Nicole for all of 2 seconds. It's not her child. Like, no, no, no. I don't see how that even remotely works. It's kind of sick that they even are having to do that. And I know it's a part of a deal for her to turncoat on Gilead and give information, but my thing would be, you're lucky you're not sitting in a jail cell. No, you don't get to see Nicole in the discussion. We check in on Moira. We spent a good bit of time in Canada in this episode, actually. We pop over to Moira and Emily, who are, helping to place all of the children from Angel's Flight into homes, either with their family members from before Gilead or with families willing to take them in. And one of the kids who they're trying to kind of check in on is this little boy named Asher, whose aunt lives in Canada. When Moira goes to visit him, he is definitely not the same as like Rebecca was, so happy to see her dad. He doesn't remember anything before his life in Gilead, and he misses his mom and dad. He misses his Martha. He misses the food that they had in Gilead. He's not over here making chicken nuggets, pizza, and buttered noodles. And he's like, this is not cooking. This is not like made from scratch, cooking that you're giving me. So I don't want this. So he's not eating anything. And Moira helps to kind of counsel him and kind of counsel the aunt, but it triggers her because she sees how messed up some of these kids are. And her response to that, her reaction is, June didn't think that through. Which, as Emily reminds her, the kids are better off, because with the boys would all grow up to either be in the ranks of commanders, so thereby raping women, or sent to the outskirts where the working class people live and are able to have like normal lives and normal wives and not have to, have handmaids or whatever. They're the only ones who maybe have that potential, right? The women are either going to be siphoned out to be wed, arranged marriage with other people if they have viable ovaries or what have you. And God forbid if any one of these children end up being queer or just different in any way, we know what's going to happen to them in that case. So their lives are still better off being in Canada from the trauma that we have seen. But it is going to be some trauma to work through because they are being taken away from the families that they know, and that is traumatic. And if their Marthas weren't there with them, then they don't have any attachment to that life before. And so we kind of see that through this exchange with Moira and Asher. I felt a ways. I'm usually not Team June, but I felt so much like I wanted to fight back and argue to Moira and Emily, who were like knocking June for Moira having to clean up her messes. Those are not messes. Those are not messes. That is, she helped rescue children from this tyrannical society. That's a good thing. I don't see any bad about her actions. Are there bad repercussions? Yes. But it was just so frustrating. But of course, at the heart of it, what they're trying to kind of get at is the feelings, the survivor's guilt that Moira is feeling, the fact that she got out. And if you guys recall, she actually, girl tried to bounce on June a couple of times, because first she tried to break out and she left her at the train station and she got caught. And then when Moira finally got caught, she got taken to Jezebel's, which was horrible. She had to sleep with all these different men and things like that. But it was just a different type of abuse, right? It was a different type of abuse that she was facing with than what June was facing with. But she also wasn't made to get pregnant and carry someone else's baby, or carry a baby that she didn't necessarily have choice over and then give that baby up. So it's just different levels of abuse. But she has survivor's guilt and she wants to blame June. And I get it, because we were all like hating on June seasons 2 and 3, like June is tripping, June is bugging. But I understand June, and maybe watching the seasons again right before watching this helped me to understand all of that. Okay, all of that happens, And Serena Joy meets with Fred, who still doesn't think he's done anything wrong. Trash. And she doesn't think that she's necessarily done anything wrong. Double trash. But what makes it worse is he doubles down and says, not only am I not wrong, I gave you too much freedom. Serena Joy, I would be singing like a canary. I would be singing till the cows came home about everything that I could implicate him in at that point. Because he basically is like, what little bit of freedom you had, oh, I was too easy on you. Like, wait, what? No. So anyway, I forgot to mention, going back to Moira's got a little boo thing, and which was cute, but a little interesting, because I don't know if you noticed a little bit of us between her and Emily, and it's kind of giving me some like tease of like maybe Emily was like maybe a little jealous, and I don't know if it was like directly centered on Moira and Moira's relationship, or just that she doesn't have that for herself. It was a little hard to tell. It could kind of go either way, but I definitely feel like they're going to bond over their experiences more and more, and maybe Moira's girlfriend won't be able to understand that, and so that will cause conflict, versus Emily, who can understand exactly what she's going through and can speak into those situations. So that was just a little interesting. Moira eventually goes back over to Asher's house, and she takes Rita with her, and Rita's gonna go over there and cook him a home cooked meal. She brings him a little wooden toy to play with, because he don't understand all these, TVs and all this kind of technology. He doesn't understand all that. So she gives him a little wooden elephant and cooks him up some good food to help him to readjust. And I think that's sweet. I think that would be a nice little thing to see Rita do, like to just go to all these different kids' houses and like basically become a nanny, because let's face it, yes, she could do anything, but she seemed like she thrived in that role, and she misses that being her duty, and she never got a chance to do it like other Marthas actually had children to care for. She never really had that. She only had Nicole for about a month. So I actually could see her doing that and being like a roaming nanny, going to all of the 86 children who were rescued from Gilead, and going to their homes and making them feel more adjusted and more comfortable, because she knows all of their language, blessed day and praise be and may the Lord open, and she'll be familiar to them. So I actually think that that would be a cute thing to see, like see other children as well, not just this Asher boy. Going back, okay, June goes to Jezebel's to meet up with someone from Mayday who's going to tell them what the next safe house is, okay? She goes and she finds out that the person she's meeting with was one of the Jezebels who was at the previous one where she killed Commander Stabler. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. His name is Commander Winslow, but y'all know who I'm talking about. Commander Christopher Maloney. I think that's how you say his last name, but Commander Stabler. Anyway, she goes there, basically finds out like all the stuff that's still going on there or whatever. And when she goes back to the farm, Mrs. Keys is like, oh, I want to go with you when you leave. And at first June is like, no, you are loose cannon. I don't know. You need to stay here. Like, I don't know if we could trust you. And ultimately, she kind of makes her believe that she can trust her. And they say, okay, well, we have to do something about the commander. And she's like, low key, I've been kind of poisoning him for a while now. Like, whenever I want him to pass out and leave me alone. And there's Nightshade hanging above us. And we could just drug him out and he'll be good. And so June, goes back after making the little Nightshade poison, goes back to Jezebel's, and they poison some bottles of vodka, or I think it was tequila. I think it was tequila shots. And she poisons the little tequila, and they start passing out shots to all the commanders and whatnot, and they just throwing it back with that Nightshade in it. I was like, okay, this is a plan. This is something in the works. Unfortunately, because our girl June, she can only catch a wind for about 2 seconds. She turns around and gets back to the house, and lo and behold, don't you notice? Wait a second, all the lights is on, doors are open, Stuff don't look right. It looked like folks been taken out. All of a sudden, the guardian who was with her, boom, gunshot to the head. And I was like, wait a second, what? Was that a bomb? Did they step on a mine? What happened? And I had to rewind for a second to see what happened. And who is there but Nick, Commander Blaine? And he is running the operation. I said, ain't this a blip? Like, that was really, you just never know with Nick. Like, I want to like Nick, but low-key, I kind of feel like Nick just needs to die. Like, I feel like in order for the show to move by the end, it doesn't need to be like a him or him. Nick is just there for the time being. He's just a place for her to feel some kind of comfort. Luke is the ultimate end goal. I'm sorry, he is. And Commander Blaine has been complicit in too many things. He's been too complicit to be able to have like a happily ever after. I'm sorry. I'm going to say that. He has to die, y'all. At this point now, I'm just going to say he has to die. Because, yeah. Like, you couldn't figure out some way, a little whistle signal, something to alert June so she wasn't rolling up on. I was in my feelings about that one. The other surprise of the night, guess who is pregnant but Serena Joy? I said, ain't this something? Now I hope this makes her want to leave Nicole alone, let her be by herself so she can have her child. But I definitely think it's going to make her tighten up her lips a little bit, because I don't think that she's strong enough to try to have that baby on her own. So I think she's going to try and reconcile with Fred, especially once she tells him, because he's going to mind manipulate her into making her believe that like they can be a happy family, right? So I definitely see that happening. So that was what happened in episode 2 of The Handmaid's Tale. So yeah, we don't know where the other handmaids are, if they're dead. June is caught. Dang, we don't know if they killed Mrs. Keys. She was sweet. I hope that somehow she's alive or something. I don't know if she just told or what. I hope she don't end up on the wall somewhere. I really do. But I feel like even if she don't end up on the wall, she's going to probably get sent to the colonies, most definitely. We don't know if Nick is good or bad, because he was helping, Joseph back in the last episode, but now here he is, then just put this gunshot through this guardian's head. And he was a sweet guardian too. I liked him. He was getting his little dance on with the other one. But yeah, so I don't know. It's getting deep. So we definitely, how is June going to get out of this one, guys? I don't know. All right, so that's my recap of episode 2, The Handmaid's Tale. I had to get my thoughts together, guys. So this one went a little long, but don't worry, I'm going to try to speed things up on the next one. All right, so if you haven't done so already, if you stuck with me this whole time, you need to just go ahead and subscribe. Okay, help a girl get to her 500. You would be a part of the family. Let me know down below in the comments, did you watch this episode already, or are you listening to the recap before you watch? Because I know sometimes I will do that for certain shows, or if I don't have time to watch it, I'll just, so I can stay up, I'll, listen to recaps. So yeah, that's fine. That's fine if you want to like just listen to my recaps because you don't have time. That's okay. You can do that. And definitely let me know down below a couple of things. I need to know what y'all think about Nick, and should we trust him? I need to know if you think Emily and Moira are going to become a little boo thing, a little couple. And I need to know if y'all think that, what's going to happen with Serena Joy? Is it going to make her like not want to be a mom to Nicole? Or is something going to happen with her? And like, what's going to happen with that situation? What do y'all think? Let me know down below in the comments. And I will see you next time. Praised be. Have a blessed day. Toodles.